Hi everyone, so today's QCard topic is describe a boring place. Here we need to discuss where the boring place is, who you went there with, why you did there, and explain why you think it's a boring place. Let's discuss the simple answer. Sometimes we visit places expecting fun and excitement, but the experiences turn out to be completely different. I would like to talk about a place that I found extremely boring, which was my uncle Om Prakash's factory in Ludhiana, Punjab. It's located on the outskirts of the city in an industrial area surrounded by warehouses and manufacturing units. I went there a couple of years ago with my father. That day, I was complaining that I was feeling bored at home and I wanted to go outside to relax and have some fun. My father happened to be visiting my uncle to purchase material such as tiles, paint, and wood for our house, so he suggested that I accompany him. At first, I thought it would be an interesting outing. However, as soon as we arrived, things started going downhill. My uncle was busy dealing with another client, so we had to wait for almost an hour. Unfortunately, I didn't have my phone with me, which made the waiting period feel even longer. Once my uncle became free, he and my father started talking. Instead of discussing exciting topics, they spent a long time sharing old memories and discussing politics, inflation, taxes, and business matters. Those conversations were not only lengthy, but also difficult for me to relate to, so I quickly lost interest. To make things worse, I asked my uncle if I could explore the factory. After getting permission, I walked around for a while, but the loud noise from the machinery was extremely irritating. The environment felt dusty, repetitive, and lacked any entertainment. If there had been a park, cafe, or even a small recreational area nearby, I could have spent my time there. Unfortunately, there was nothing around except factories and trucks. As people say, watching paint dry. That's exactly how the whole experience felt to me. Eventually, I returned to the meeting room and spent the rest of visit waiting for my father. That's why I consider it one of the most boring places I have ever visited. So this was all about the cue card and some vocabulary and expressions that I used in this. Go downhill, means become worse gradually. Lengthy means very long in duration. Relate to, understand or connect with something personally. Recreational area, a place designed for leisure and enjoyment. Industrial area, a place where factories and manufacturing businesses are located. Watching paint dry is an idiom that means something extremely boring. Outskirts, the outer area of a city or town. Repetitive, doing the same thing again and again. Okay, we have now follow-up questions. Why do most people think education is boring? I don't think education itself is boring. Rather, the way it is delivered can sometimes make it feel boring. Many schools focus heavily on memorization instead of practical learning. Students often spend hours listening to lectures without actively participating. A good example is that many students enjoy science experiments much more than reading long chapters from a textbook because they can actually see concepts in action. If schools included more discussions, projects, and real life applications, students would probably find learning much more engaging. Second question. Why aren't young people willing to listen to the experiences of old people? One reason is that younger generations grow up in a completely different environment. Technology changes rapidly, and many young people believe that older experiences may not be relevant today. However, I think this is a mistake because older people often possesses valuable life lessons. My grandfather, for instance, frequently shares advice about managing money and maintaining relationships. Some of his suggestions still prove useful even in modern times. Not only do elderly people provide practical guidance, but they also help younger generations avoid repeating common mistakes. Third question. What can people do when they feel bored? There are many productive ways to deal with boredom. People can learn a new skill, exercise, read books, meet friends, or explore a hobby. Personally, whenever I feel bored, I prefer going for a walk or watching informative videos online. Sometimes, a simple change of environment can make a huge difference. For instance, during one summer vacation, I felt tired of my routine, so I visited my grandparents' village. The fresh surroundings and family interactions completely refreshed my mind. If people keep doing the same activities every day, boredom becomes inevitable. Therefore, trying something different from time to time can be very beneficial. Fourth question: why are some teachers' classes boring? Are there any solutions? Some classes become boring because the teaching style is too one sided. When students only listen and never participate, it becomes difficult to maintain concentration. A university professor who simply reads slides for an hour is the best example. Most students eventually lose focus because there is a very little interaction. The solution is to make lessons more engaging. Teachers can include discussions, quizzes, group activities, and practical examples. Not only does this increase student participation, but it also improves understanding and retention. Another effective approach is connecting lessons to everyday situations. If students can see how knowledge applies to real life, they can usually much more interested in learning. Okay, this was all about this cue card. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much.